Hi there, folks. Thanks for joining. Glad to have you doing this live via YouTube and TikTok at the same time. So it's going to be a real test out here. We're going to see how this goes. And then we'll just give it a shot. I'm here to answer questions, but we're going to first start out talking about, what's going on in the Simpsonville area and specifically how Simpsonville ties into Greenville, why so many people are moving here, who's coming to Simpsonville, what there is to do in Simpsonville, and let's get right into it. I'm going to share my screen. We're going to first talk about things to do in the Simpsonville, South Carolina area. And I want to start off with something that is really close to me and a lot going on. This is um, this is Heritage Park. So there's CCMB Theater in Heritage Park, puts on a lot of shows. It's been around for a long time. Right here on the screen, what you can see is previous shows that have been at CCMB Theater. Um, so what you were seeing there um, can really be a test, a viewpoint of what has been there before, what you may see again. Shows anywhere from Wu Tang to the Doobie Brothers to Three Doors Down, John Fogerty, Creed. You know, there's really no limit on what could be coming to CCMB. It's a great outdoor uh, theater. People really enjoy it, and they do a great job. They put up a great show. So let me see if I can get back here to uh, my next slide and get that up. Next up, I'm going to talk about Discovery Island real quick. This is another thing people love to do in the Simpsonville area. Um, this is a water park. It's only going to be open in your end of spring, all through the summer, and then into the fall. This is a water island. This is a water park that we go to probably at least every year, maybe a couple times. You can see here, there's a lot going on. It's a lot of fun. Kids are going to have a great time. Your ages really are going to be anything from young kids at something like this part of the park to your young teens are going to still enjoy it. There are going to be bigger water slides and then things like the flow rider, which you can body surf on. You can get a little bored. You can stand up if you're real good. Personally, not going to try that. I still like my bones a little bit too much. Let's bring up the next thing I want to talk about here. If you got any questions, feel free to throw them up as we go. I would love to answer them for you. Thanks for joining on TikTok. I see Anna popping in here, Timmy as well. So feel free to ask any questions that you've got about Simpsonville, about the Greenville area. Be happy to talk about whatever you've got going on as well. I'm gonna pull up my next thing. If you're on YouTube, you'll be able to see it. Another thing people love to do in the Simpsonville area is go to downtown Simpsonville. And in downtown Simpsonville, a great thing people love to stop at is the ice cream station. A real favorite of all my kids, of course, uh, get to stop by and have ice cream. This little ice cream shack has been right in downtown for a long time. Really popular, lots of flavors. You grab your ice cream, eat right outside. Very enjoyable experience. I think if you checked it out, you'd have a great time. We're going to pop over to our next thing here. I want to talk about the warehouse at Vaughn's, another great place in downtown Simpsonville. This is a real shared space. Things like that are very popular these days. You can find them in Greenville as well. Thanks for popping in there, Charles Eddy on TikTok and others. Um, if you got comments, throw them up. I'd love to answer your questions as well. As you can see here at the Warehouse of Falls, they have an outside area. Sometimes they have a band. There's also plenty of inside seating, like a lot more than what you're going to see right here. I'm going to try to find you a better picture from the inside. But you can see the outside can get real busy if there's something very popular going on stage. But there's also Plenty to do for the kids out there. There's a big field. Kids like to go and play and have a good time. Your eating options are varied. Alcoholic beverages are served by plenty of the establishments there, so you can get beer and wine on site, and you can pick what you want to eat. Anything from oysters, burgers. You got tacos and blah blah blah. Has a food truck outside. I think I don't see signage here. I think this is just to the left of tacos and blah blah blah. But great places to eat. You can swing by there, just grab a lunch, get something real quick to go, or you can go in the evening, hang out, have a good time, really get to mingle and join in with the people that are there. Lots of fun. I'm gonna bring up my next slide here. Thanks for joining. But, appreciate y'all popping in. I'm happy to talk about anything in the Greenville area, Simpsonville area real estate market. We're going to talk about Simpsonville specifically here to begin with, unless people start coming in with more questions. As you can see, if you're on YouTube now, this is a zip code map of the area. This is something I use when I'm talking to people about what's going on. It's something that a lot of people are going to be learning about when they're moving to the area. And I got a video coming up soon, talks about the most moved to areas, and you'll see two of the zip codes right down here in Simpsonville, 29681, 29680. If you've been following me for a while, you probably know I grew up in the Greenville area. I grew up in Gower, and then as an adult, I've been living for a long time near downtown. I just moved out in the fall to the Simpsonville area. I actually live in 29681. Probably the most moved to zip code in the area, just due to the number of residential houses available. Um, Other popular areas to live around Greenville are especially Greer right now. I think this is one of your most moved to zip codes as well. A lot of popularity up there just due to a little more space, just like Simpsonville, but you're also near the airport, which is going to be right up here near your border end to Spartanburg County. You got a lot of manufacturing. You can see here at BMW US manufacturing plant right there. That's BMW's largest plant in the world, and they employ about 11,000 people in the upstate. There's a lot of other manufacturing right around there, really taking advantage of the inland port and also taking advantage of the airport there. And you got Interstate 85, which connects Atlanta and Charlotte through Greenville. You can also get on 26 to go up into North Carolina and Tennessee, and you can go down 26 to get to the lower part of South Carolina. So you just got a lot going on right there. It's very popular for people to move to that area. All right. If anybody's got any questions, feel free to throw them up. Otherwise, I'm going to keep clipping along here. We're going to bring up the next slide that I'm going to share with you guys, and we're going to talk about Consti Nature Preserve. This is not technically in Simpsonville, but it's still a great attraction near Simpsonville. It's really technically in Malden, South Carolina, which is the little suburb between Greenville and Simpsonville, just slightly north of Simpsonville, and it's fantastic. The Consti Park is right here, so you're going to see this coming right off of Malden Road, right here over on the side. But this whole nature preserve backs up to that, and is amazing. Lots of walking paths. You can get out there, you can run, you can walk. Most of the park is reopened from Hurricane Helene, but some of the park is still blocked off. You'll be able to see up here post Helene reopening. These two, the dark blue Brushy Creek track and sections of yellow green labeled, are still blocked. So that's just damage from the hurricane with trees coming down and tearing up the boardwalks and things like that. They took a lot of damage during the hurricane, and they haven't been able to recover yet. They're still doing a lot of work. Sometimes it's just hard to get back in there to those areas because they are remote in the nature preserve. They're not easily accessible from outside roads, so it's really hard for them to get equipment back there, and it's been a slow process rebuilding. But there's some big bridges back in there that really help give a lot of access. You can see a lot of wildlife back in there. I think it's great to get back in there. I've got a friend who takes a lot of beautiful bird pictures. Back want to see nature. I'm going to move on just a little bit here and get my next spot. We're just going to talk a little bit about commuter time. And so, what that's going to look like, I'm going to pull up right here on my commuter map. I've actually got this map already set up as it looks right now with a 20-minute drive out of downtown Greenville. So what you're seeing in this map, hey folks on TikTok, sorry you're not being able to see these things, but if you clip over to YouTube, you'll be able to see them. Otherwise, let's talk. Hit me up with questions. I'd love to respond. But what this map is showing is how far you can get away from downtown Greenville in 20 minutes. So it's really talking about what your commute's going to be if you are living in one of the suburb cities and commuting to downtown. Now, a lot of people move to this area and commute different directions. Not everybody's working in downtown Greenville. You got a lot of people working in manufacturing out here near Greenville, Spartanburg. You got people working down in just Simpsonville, Fountain Inn, the outlying areas of businesses all along 385, businesses along 26 over here, 85 up here. There are a lot of choices in where you can live, and you may not all be commuting downtown, but I just wanted you to see, coming out the interstate here, how far you can get in just 20 minutes from downtown. So Simpsonville, which we've been talking about a lot, is right here. Um, and you can see both sides of the interstate are those two zip codes, which we spoke about earlier, 29681 here and 29680 down here, where lots of people are moving to and from. Definitely the most home sales right now are going in those areas. So if you're thinking about moving to the area, it's a popular place to be able to find a house that's available. And if you're already living here, you obviously are going to know people living in this area as you get out around town and meet folks. Hit me up again if you got questions. I'd be happy to answer. So as people ask about, somebody asked about food and where to eat. So lots of food choices. We talked about earlier, Vaughn's, downtown Simpsonville, being a great shared space with a lot of choices. Also, like to mention old time classics. Classics for me growing up in the area, like Henry Smokehouse. Pulling up on the screen right now, there's a Henry Smokehouse in downtown Simpsonville, which you'll see here in the middle of the screen. The original Henry Smokehouse is right here. Used to live right near this off of Hampton Boulevard near downtown Greenville. Really a unique building, sort of a little square octagon type thing. Some outside dining, but delicious food. If you like barbecue, highly recommend Henry Smokehouse. You really can't go wrong, especially if you like that South Carolina barbecue. It's going to be more your mustard or ketchup based sauces available. They don't do a lot of vinegar base or some of your other choices. Personally prefer the mustard, but you can make your own choices when you get there. They're not going to pigeonhole you. Also got some great sides to go along with it. Macaroni and cheese, green beans, the sweet potato casserole is amazing. In fact, I just had a client in town, and his review was best sweet potato casserole ever. So go check that out. Can't go wrong with some Henry's Smokehouse. People here love it, and I'm pretty sure if you come to visit, you'll love it too. All right, let's keep going here. We're going to hit a few more things as we go. I'm going to go back here to, I'm going to go back here to the zip code map and talk a little bit more about the area and what's going on in different areas around town. Sorry, we don't need that. Nope. Excuse me just a minute as I find this map, which I guess I might have closed out by mistake. My apologies. Let me see if I got any questions coming up. All right, folks out in TikTok land, any questions from you guys? Somebody wanted to know something about Simpsonville, Greenville area, what's happening here. either with housing or the real estate market. Happy to talk about any of that as we go. Um, let's see if anybody's got something going on. All right, no more questions right now. So I'm going to pull up the real estate market in Greenville, South Carolina. We're going to hit that just a little bit. So when they talk about Greenville, South Carolina, a couple things to note. If you talk about the city itself, it's going to be a very small area. Cities in South Carolina don't grow very rapidly. The state really puts a lot of restrictions on how quickly they can get people into the city. So it can make a big difference if you're talking about the city or the metro area. So Greenville housing trends, we're looking at July 2025. I know we're at the end of August, but that means things aren't out yet because we have to get to the end of August and in the beginning of September before we get reports from August. So as of July, in July of this year, house prices were up 3.5% versus last year, selling for a median price almost 500,000. Now this is tight into the downtown area, not strictly downtown, but 500,000 is your median price for houses in the Greenville area, not these outlying cities that we talked about before. So your prices are going to drop as an average as you go out into Taylor, Simpsonville, Greer. You're still going to sell houses, buy houses all over the price range, but you won't have an average that's quite so high as this $500,000 in Greenville. Houses are selling for 58 after 58 days on the market. You can see right here compared to 45 last year. Last year was a little faster, felt a lot faster than that, and this year it's only 58 days because it is so close to downtown. I think that average is creeping up as we go. I won't be surprised at all if that number is a lot higher when we get our August numbers in. The market has slowed here overall. Um, Greenville is not down. As you can see here, we're not down, but we are not having that meteoric rise that we were having for several years, especially during COVID and even after COVID when things were still moving up. Um, so as we look right here, you can see in July they're saying 103 homes sold July this year versus 92 last year. This is definitely a very tight area to downtown Greenville. I mean, only 103 in this report. We're not going very far at all with that. Let me pull you over now, and we're going to get into the bigger market. We're going to look directly at the MLS itself for Greenville in the whole metro area. This is going to be everything in the Greenville area. As you can see, right now we've got sold in the last 7 days 359 properties. So this does include land, but you can see that that's a big stretch from a whole month selling 103 in Greenville proper. When you expand to the whole area, we're going through a lot more sales. In fact, we can change this to last 30 days. And we're going to get 1,381 properties sold in the last 30 days. And so this is a metro number. This gives you an idea of how many people are moving into and out of the Greenville area, and just people who are moving within this area, house to house. As you can see, though, in that same 30 days, we had 1,867 properties come new to the market. So that's about 500 properties more than sold. So you can see we're still trending that higher inventory number. Everything I'm seeing right now is saying we're more in a balanced market, maybe even moving to a buyer's market. Buyers definitely have a lot more flexibility now than they have in the last few years. You're seeing people take more time. Buyers I'm working with are able to look at more houses before making the decision. They're able to be a little pickier. You're seeing a lot of houses have price decreases. And you can see that here in this price change number. So 2,262 price changes in the MLS in the last 30 days. Now, I don't know about you, but that's a big number for me. Um, a couple of years ago, we were not seeing a half of that. Now our numbers are really spiking on this drop in house prices. Let's look total number of active homes. So if we pull that up real quick, residential properties, actives 5587. So what you're seeing there is number of price changes. That's approaching half. Um, you know, half your listings are having a price change, dropping the price. That's a big deal. Um, that's really going to be, I think, going to come more and more evident as I'm out there showing houses. That's what I'm seeing. So, I'm seeing these houses drop in price. Buyers are much less likely to offer full price right now, even when the house is brand new to the market. Now, I will say there's an exception to certain areas. That throw that out the window when you get right down in here in downtown Greenville on this map here. If you can see what I'm pointing to, when you're really close to downtown, your house is priced right. There will not be a price drop. Those houses are still popping off the market really fast. I was looking at the market just yesterday, and of all the houses coming to market, there were a surprising number that were already contingent the first day. So we are still seeing homes go under contract day one in this market. Now, that is not the majority of homes, and it's not the majority of homes going under contract even in the first week now. Things have really stretched out. It takes a lot more time to sell a house in the Greenville area now. If you're planning to put your house on the market, you need to plan for that. You need to price your house appropriately, or you're really going to see it sit. And what that leads to is what's wrong with this house pricing. People are going to really start to question your price after they see you get 30, 60, 100 days on the market. That can be very painful as a seller. You want to avoid that at all costs. All right, guys. I am wearing out my voice a little bit. I need another drink of water. If anybody's got any questions from TikTok or YouTube land, now's a great time to throw them up there. Be happy to talk to you about it. All right. That said, I'm not seeing any questions. I don't think, unless I'm missing it coming up. All right, I'm gonna get back in then, drop off the MLS and pull up. I think what'll be our last thing we're talking about here, and that'll be the actual Simpsonville real estate market. This is July from this year. Again, looking at Redfin's numbers, and this is still going to be Simpsonville, not Greater Simpsonville. So, please adjust that in your mind that this is not the bigger area. I tell you what, I am going to take us back to a map right when we leave this, just to explain a little bit of that, and also to explain the difference between Five Forks and Simpsonville, which is something I get a lot of questions about. So let's get into the market first, and then we'll hit those two things before we go. So right here, as you can see, Simpsonville market with Redfin, we're looking at median home price in July of about 400,000. This is up 25% since last year. This is just wrong. I'm sorry. I don't know what we're getting, but we're not trending up 25% in a year. So something has to have changed. This has got to be a really large property selling and affecting things, or some very small properties sold last year, this month, and knocking things out of whack. So the market is nowhere near 25% up last year. Uh, you're gonna have to take that with a grain of salt. I think median sales price around 400. That seems pretty solid to me. As we scroll down a little bit, we'll see 48 days on market median. Yeah, I can buy that 100%. This seems like pretty legitimate numbers. As you can see here, number of houses sold 36, down 30% year over year. This really just speaks to the slowdown of the market in Simpsonville and the greater Greenville area. Things are slower. Now, this is not Simpsonville Metro. This number is going to be a lot bigger, remember, and we're going to see that in just a minute when I'm talking about it. So let's click over to that right now. Talk about the difference between the cities and areas in South Carolina and how that works. So for that, we're going to go over to Google Maps, and we're going to zoom out here a little bit so we get big names. We got Greenville right here. And then as you see from that, I'm sorry, I'm trying to search Simpsonville. I'm going to zoom back out a little bit here. What we see on this map here is the city of Simpsonville. So you can see how small that is compared to the larger area of Simpsonville, which is going to go all the way out here and up into this area marked Five Forks. Now, what I mean by the difference in Five Forks and Simpsonville and Greer is that there are no addresses in Five Forks. If you're looking for property in the Greenville area and you're thinking Five Forks out here is a place you'd like to live, you need to look for homes in Simpsonville. That's going to come up a little bit over this area. And Greer, which is actually up here, but extends down into this area. So the city of Simpsonville continues its addresses up into Five Forks, and the city of Greer continues its addresses down towards Five Forks. The cities themselves do not go that far. Again, very hard to be a city in South Carolina and grow. Let's put in the city of Greer, South Carolina, and see what we get. We're going to get a really weird shape. Right here, you can see the city of Greer is not one continuous shape, but just a bunch of funkiness. So what this is Greer City Water. It's actually what's driving people to join the city of Greer. So when they built some of these things out near Greer and they wanted to have city water, Greer said, that's great, but you have to join our city. So they swarmed them in, and that's how they've been able to extend these little tendrils out. But you can see, even though the Greer addresses come down here, Greer City does not make it this far. Just another just sort of standout, strange thing about cities in South Carolina. Now I see where we got some people online. If anybody's got questions, I'm happy to talk to them. Otherwise, I think I'm going to wrap this up for tonight. It's been a long day, and this was a late start for a video for me. So go ahead if anybody's got a question. Otherwise, we're going to sign this one off. All right. Not seeing anything else. So thank you very much. Appreciate you in TikTok land and YouTube. Thanks for stopping in. If you've got any questions, I know all my information is always in the comments. On my channel, you can look me up, send me a text, give me a call, shoot me an email. Let's chat. Love to help you move to the area or sell your home if you're already here. Thanks a bunch again. Have a great night.